Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are going to do a character guide on Mog. So, me being a huge Final Fantasy VI fan, I'm very excited to do this guide on Mog. Mog was a character I always really liked in the original game. Mog has kind of become the icon for Final Fantasy, which is really cool. So, I'm really glad they added him into the game. I was kind of worried they weren't going to, because Default already had like a Mog like mascot in the game. So, it's kind of cool that they actually made him his own character from Final Fantasy VI. Very, very cool about that. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at Mog's artifacts, his spheres, and then we'll jump into a little showcase. For those of you not familiar with Mog, Mog is basically like a utility slash support type character that does a lot of brave gains. He's got healing. He's got a very unique follow-up mechanic. He kind of does a lot of things. So he's a very cool, very interesting character. So we'll talk all about that as we get into the showcase here. But first, let's start by talking about Mog's artifacts, and then we'll look at the spheres. So Mog is kind of an interesting one, kind of like Penelo, where like you could go a more attack route, or you could go a more brave gain route. So if you want to go a more attack route, you could go attack 108 and Moogle in the Mines up. I think no matter what, you want Moogle in the Mines up because they're getting max brave and attack, which are like the two things Mog wants. So you for sure want Moogle in the Mines up. It's just a matter of if you want to go more attack route or more max brave route. I'm opting to go with max brave 330 and Moogle in the Mines up. The reason why is Mog does a lot of battery, and his battery scales off of his max brave. So I kind of like going on a character like this. I don't see Mog as like my main damage dealer. He's going to do some okay damage, but I really want, if I'm using Mog, I'm doing it for his battery and his utility, so I'm going to utilize that. So I'm going in on max brave. I did pick up attack passives in case I change my mind. But that's where I'm going. So when we look at the spheres, we're going to kind of keep that in mind, right? So he's got a C slot, a D slot, and an E slot. So when a unit's got three different slots, you know they're kind of a all over the place type character. They fulfill a lot of different roles, right? So on the C slot, you could go with the more traditional one, like, you know, Alphinaud or Maria, something like that, that's going to kind of boost party attack. Or you could do something that's more of like a brave regen. So you could go with something like Charlotta, Rude, or in this instance, I went with like Arciella. So you could go with more of a Brave Gain sphere. I don't use the Brave Gain spheres very often, so I feel like Mog was a really good character to slap one on. So I went and put Arciella there, but you can kind of take your pick. Once again, you can go the more traditional route, or you can go more the Brave Gain route. On the D slot, once again, you could go with an attack sphere. Mog does a lot of buffing, so you could even get away with a Waka sphere here. I just used his own, and once again, this is Party Max Brave, which Party Max Brave isn't like the craziest, but like giving Max Brave to Mog will really help his battery, and then increasing Max Brave for the party gives them more cap to take in Brave. So it really supports what Mog wants to do. So I figured for me, if I'm going to all-in battery route, that's what I would do. But otherwise, like, I always shout out Ash and Hope. Like, those are always good D-spheres. When Ash and Hope come back, you guys should all refine a bunch of them, by the way. Waka, if you've got extra Wakas, though, this is a character that can use Waka. In the E slot, this is one where you can really go a million different ways with it. So you could go with, like, an aura, right? So, like, for example, I have Pain on there, so that's an attack down. It raises party attack, and then it lowers enemies' attack. So that's actually really good, because it's doing two things. But if you wanted to do, like, you know, put poison on, or have like a speed down or something, like, you could totally do that if you wanted to. One that I will shout out, though, is if you are going, the only reason I didn't do this one is because I don't have it. But let me go ahead and show it to you here. Got to get down, it's down at the very, very end here. So if you want to go more max brave, you can see I literally have none. But this Eldnarsh will really buff his max brave, which is really good for the brave game. So Eldnarsh will come back at some point with his FR and BT. Well, he already has a BT, but he'll come back with his FR. So when Eldnarsh comes back, I'll probably refine at least a couple of them, and I might switch Mog's E slot to Eldnarsh, because I'm really going the max brave route. So I feel like Eldnarsh is actually a really good shout there. So once again, look at your E slot, see what you kind of like there. Either go with an aura or a debuff, or go with Eldnarsh if you want to go with that max brave, right? All right, so let's go ahead and hop into the showcase here. So we are going to jump in. We're hopping into the Shinryu fight, right? I like that I don't really have to deal with an orb, so I can kind of just be free to do what I want to do. Do I even want to bring a friend? I don't think I really care, so we won't. And we are just going to hop in. Actually, yeah, I'll leave Sylph on. I actually have Sylph at level 20. Sylph and Chocobo were the hardest ones to level up, so I had them at 18 and then just stopped grinding them because that meta kind of changed where we stopped using them. But now they got auto leveled up, so I'm kind of happy to have that. So we'll bring Sylph here just because it charges a little bit faster and try to get that grinded up. Although compared to level 40s, maybe the level 40s actually charge up as fast. It's actually been a really long time since I used those old summons. It would be really cool if Sylph and Chocobo got level 40, so that would be awesome. Okay, so we'll kind of jump into and talk about what Mog can do here. So we'll get Kane going. Kane, let's just get Kane up in the air for fun. Why not? We'll let Kane go up in the air and be crazy. I don't know if I'm going to go crazy and like charge up a force time or anything. I'm literally just going to show off what Mog does so you can understand his kit. And then we'll hop out. So we're not like going to beat the Shinryu or anything crazy like that. I just want a place where I can just demo this guy, right? So we'll put Kane up in the air. All right, now we've got Mog. So Mog is going to come up and he is going to start off with a free skill use, right? So what you can do here is you could either go with Serial Jump, you could go with Water Harmony if you wanted to, or you could go with the AA. The AA is limited and it's going to just give like good party buffs. So I usually open with that. But you could open with one of the other skills. Now, his 15 CP is a little unique because it'll toggle between jump and serial jump. Basically, the way to get serial jump is when you use Water Harmony, it'll change serial or it'll change jump into serial jump. So let's just do serial jump here. And basically, he's just going to jump multiple times and do more damage than what jump would do. And then you're going to notice he does a follow-up every time. So the follow-ups are like one of the really cool things about Mog's kit that we need to talk about. You'll notice we actually confused one of the enemies. So what happens is when Mog follows up, he's either going to do Plasma or El Nino. Now Mog, he's got water and lightning in his kit. So the water comes from like most of his main attacks, but then that Plasma does lightning damage as well. When you do Water Harmony, which is the 35, we'll go ahead and get to it really quick here. We'll just get some buffs up. But when you do Water Harmony, that's what gives him the overhead, but that also does a lightning and water resist down on the enemies, so that's really nice. Alright, we'll just throw some stuff on here, do a little force gauge charging. Not that I'm going for that, but yeah, Sylph is charging up pretty quick, so I'll probably just get Sylph going, and then I'll just hop into a summon if I'm not done showing off Mog's kit. Okay, so we're going to let this go through here. But continuing to explain Mog's follow-ups, basically, as long as the party isn't debuffed, he'll do Plasma. And when he does Plasma, it has a 30% chance to confuse, which is actually really, really cool, right? It also does a party battery. What you're going to notice is, like, basically most of Mog's skill will battery in some way. That's why I really emphasize the Max Brave with him. If the party has debuffs, then he'll use El Nino, which is actually a water attack. So Plasma is a water and thunder attack. El Nino is just a water attack, and it will actually cleanse debuffs off. So he's got cleansing. So that is really, really nice. So if you like the follow-ups, you like the confuse and the cleanse that Mog can do, he also has healing. So with his Water Harmony, he's also giving HP regen to the party, which is really good. Now you'll see Serial Jump change into Jump. Jump will always be a free skill use. So you'll notice that when Jump is up, it'll be green, but I don't believe it's a free turn. Yeah, it's not a free turn. It's just a free skill use, right? Let's go ahead and use Water Harmony here. So this is the 35. The Water Harmony overhead buff, you always want to upkeep that, because that's probably one of his more important buffs. Once again, using that too will upgrade Jump into Serial Jump, so the next time Mog comes up, we'll get Serial Jump, which is the stronger attack, right? Okay, and those are pretty much like the strongest Brave Shaving attacks are going to be the Jump and the Serial Jump, right? We'll just go ahead and just use an LD here. And then we have the LD and the EX that we need to talk about. Mog is one of those characters, like, you kind of open and get going, and he's one of those characters where you're basically maintaining buffs, and then you are basically just trying to do certain attacks when you need to do them. We'll talk about the, let's just do Kane's burst attack here. We'll talk about when to use the LD. So the LD is a really fat party heal. So usually you want to kind of save the LD until you need a big heal. You could use it though if if Water Harmony is starting to run out. So the LD does upgrade Water Harmony to 12 turns. It normally only goes up to 8. So that it can get the overhead going a lot longer. So if you need it to help refresh Water Harmony, you can do it. But usually with the LD, you just want to use it when you need a fat heal. But we'll go ahead and use it right now. So this is Mughal March. And what you're going to notice is after using this, so this would do a party heal and battery. Does a pretty decent AoE attack here. And then we're always going to get the follow-up. So you're always pretty much going to be doing plasma unless your party's debuffed in some way. So pretty solid damage there, right? Like 740k and then 600 to the other enemy. That's actually not bad, and we're not like in a force time or anything. So in a force time, that's going to be doing a lot of damage, right? But you don't have to use the LD to maintain the Water Harmony buff because you do have the 35 CP Water Harmony to use as well. Water Harmony only has 6 uses, so it definitely could run out. Alright, let's go ahead and just go into summon here. So yeah, let's bring out Sylph. Shout out to Realm and Sylph, by the way. This is something that maybe might go under the radar, but I actually tried out Sylph with Realm, and it's like Realm basically attacks with whatever your summon is, and it just does like the fattest heal you've ever seen in your life. It has no cap on it, and it's just like full heal every time she does sketch summon. So if you want like a really good healer like Realm, if you're willing to bring Sylph, it's actually a really good healer. That might go under the radar a little bit, so that's very cool. Okay. So we've done the LD, now we've got the EX up, which is Moogle Rush. The other thing you'll notice is we got free skill uses with everything. That comes from the LD. That's pretty common that a lot of LDs do that. So we could take a free skill use on whatever we wanted to. So if we wanted to, we could bust off another AA. We could use Water Harmony if we needed to, whatever. But we'll go ahead and just use the EX so we can show that. So let's go ahead and press that button. Now, the EX actually is one of the better damaging attacks, and that's thanks to C90. So that does really, really good. Basically, once again, huge party battery on that. And then just a big AoE attack is what you're getting. And then he does get a buff from it called Warrior of the Mughals. So basically, you definitely want to upkeep that buff. So that Warrior of the Mughals is a 6-turn buff. We'll see it right here. That comes from the EX. So just make sure you're not letting that fall off, or that like the EX will be ready because the EX charges in only like 2 turns. So he's going to have it fairly often. So I typically like pressing the EX when I get it. It's a very good button to press. Let's go ahead and just throw a spear in this guy's face. That that 35 with Kane just feels so good to press. Like literally 1.6 mil for just pressing a 35. It's such good damage. Kane's pretty crazy. The sad thing is like as we go more into Shinryu era, like the damage numbers just get more and more insane. It's kind of crazy. You know, let's chuck a spear at the other guy. Let's just keep chucking these spears. Just love that. It's a quick attack. It's like so much damage. Like low-key, Kane is actually now one of the like faster co-op characters to bring because you just keep slapping that and it goes really fast. You don't even need to press like his LD or anything in co-op. You literally just keep slapping that. The damage is really, really good. So I think we've basically showed everything with Mog. Yeah, we've kind of gone through it. So we'll just attack here a couple more times. Let's do another serial jump so you can see that damage again. Once again, it's pretty decent damage. Like for, you know, if you're not using the EX or LD, that's pretty much your go-to. Plasma again, once again, Plasma is at 30%. But yeah, that was 900k with a decent amount of splash. Like very good damage off of that, right? So Mog is definitely like a fun character, and he does have force enhancements. So he can help to buff like Kane's force gauge. So if he's a character you have, like you can definitely bring him, and his healing is actually very good. Because you got the regen and then you can do the fat heal. So Mog can definitely service, I think, as your dedicated healer if you need him to be, depending on what you want your party comp to look like, right? So that's basically it. So just to reiterate, right, you're going to get that free turn right away. I like using the AA, but if you want to start with Serial Jump or Water Harmony, you can. And then basically you're just maintaining your EX buff. You're maintaining your other buffs by using your 15 and 35. Your 15 and 35, the Serial Jump, it has a buff called Dragonhorn, but it lasts 12 turns. So that's really not going to fall off. Like, you're going to keep that. We can do a regular jump here just so you can see a difference in the damage, but it's definitely not going to hit as hard because he just does one jump. But you always are going to get the Plasma follow-up. Remember, that follow-up comes from Water Harmony, so that overhead is very visible. You just want to not let that fall off because you don't want to lose your follow-ups with that. So anyways, guys, there you go. That's Mog. Very, very cool character. Let me know what you think. If you have any other questions, I have a Discord. Feel free to jump in and join my Discord if you want to get help from me personally. We got some other great people in there that are willing to help you out as well. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we will catch you all on the next one. See ya.